it was an amazing trade deadline for the Houston Astros, and if you're an Astros fan right now, you must be absolutely pumped with how the deadline went last week. In a shocking turn of events, Carlos Correa was traded back to his former team. The Houston legend comes back home, and it was the move of the deadline, and it gave the Astros an A on their deadline deals overall. And all Houston had to give up was high-A pitcher from the Asheville Tourists, Matt Mikulski, and that's it. And the Astros also got $33 million to help pay for his contract. $104 million left. The Twins will pay $33 million of it, and there are three years left on the deal. But it was a huge win for the Astros. I think a completely lopsided trade win in this Carlos Correa deal. You get Correa, who is still an elite defender, who will move positions to third, and who is still a solid bat. And all he had to give up was a high pitching prospect that ultimately was just a filler in the organization. And Mikulski had an ERA over 7, so he got traded up straight for Carlos Correa plus the $33 million. So Correa only waived the no-trade clause for Houston, of course, because how much he loves the city. He was ultimately, he grew up here in Houston, being drafted so early, and he's an Astro at heart. He spent those multiple seasons in Minnesota, but he's truly a Houston Astro, and he belongs here. And obviously, I didn't think it would happen at all. He obviously did not think it would happen. I don't think anyone thought it was going to play out the way it did until a couple of days back of the deadline, where the talks started happening, and then it really became real. And I think it was a great idea for the Astros to pull the trigger on this. You get a third baseman with an elite arm. Correa's been wanting to make the switch to third for a couple years. He got it here. Helps him with his health and to maintain himself. And because of Isaac Paredes' injury, he was an all-star this year again, but he was out for the rest of the year. The Astros really needed a third baseman, and who better than your former legend, who's given you so many historic moments, to come back and plug in the position at third. And I think he's going to fit really well over there. Should be a lot of fun. When you look at Correa's season this year, not really his best year. He just hit his 8th home run of the year in Boston, right after he came from Minnesota. But overall, he's done well with Houston, at least the first couple of games. Currently only hitting about 266, 33 RBIs, just over 700 OPS. Not great, but last 60 games hitting 294, 64 hits in the last 60, with 6 home runs and 21 RBIs, almost 800 OPS. So he's been a lot better over the last 2 months. And I think he'll be a great fit at third base. He's already looking like a natural. He, of course, signed a 6-year, $200 million deal with Minnesota 2 years ago in January. The Astros are going to pay roughly, $70 million over the next 3 years to pay the rest of that contract with him here in Houston. And then their club options after that, vesting options if he hits certain milestones. So I think he's going to be staying here at least for a while, a couple more years, and we'll see from there. But I think he's going to fit a lot better over here in Houston, obviously with a playoff team that's ready to go, not in Minnesota where they just weren't, they're just offloading everyone. They're in a rebuild stage. So that's why the Twins were so easily willing to give him up and just offload that contract. They were not willing to pay him all that. So the contract isn't really that bad for Houston. I mean, $70 million 3 years, it's not really a horrible deal that you're getting a good, really good player, especially what we know he can bring in the postseason. Truly a postseason performer, Carlos Correa, with multiple walk-offs in the postseason. 2019 ALCS Game 2, 2020 ALCS Game 4, 2017 World Series, 2021 ALCS. He's had so many big moments. Way back in 2012, came to Houston, first overall pick from Puerto Rico, Rookie of the Year, turned into an Astro star. He's been an icon here in Houston. Had that Gold Glove and Platinum Glove he won in 2021. Multiple-time All-Star, World Series champ. In 6 playoffs for him with the Astros. He had 1 playoff appearance with Minnesota, 3 American League pennants, and of course that title. And then he was a leader of the team in 2020. What a rough year for the Houston Astros that year, coming off of the cheating scandal. And he was a true leader of this team, stepping up. And it's gonna be really fun and going to bring some nostalgia for Astros fans, seeing him and Altuve back together. Of course, really good friends, and really fun bond to watch them play in the middle infield. And it's going to be his time now. He has a really strong connection to Houston. He's going to, I think, step up his game really well. Going to bring that swag in franchise career. 59 RBIs in the playoffs, and him and Pena, though, that's going to be really cool because Pena's at shortstop now, and he really helped train Pena during the 2021 season to take over the reins for him, and now they're going to be playing right next to each other. It's going to be really cool to watch those two go at it. Both Gold Glovers, extremely athletic, going to be fun with those two. And then to make things even more exciting, his return to Houston will be taking on the Boston Red Sox, where Alex Bregman will also be returning in his first trip to Houston as a member of Boston. So a lot of things to look forward to. As an Astros fan, the Astros going to be turning things around, getting a couple of pitchers back. Spencer Arrighetti, Christian Javier, Luis Garcia, McCullers. They're all going to be coming back, and I think going to be settling in really well pitching-wise, and this offense should be able to get things going with Alvarez coming back maybe in a couple weeks. So Astros still in first place in the AL West, but they're going to keep getting better. And they did get better with a couple of other deals at the trade deadline. Going to mention these really quick. Jesus Sanchez, I think, is the bigger one because he's going to be playing primarily left field for Houston. Altuve back to second base, and going to fill in for Cam Smith at right whenever he needs to rest. And the Astros gave up 3 prospects for Jesus Sanchez from the Marlins. The outfielder, Ryan Gusto, who pitched really well for Houston during all those injuries, give him up. And then you give up the number 13th prospect, Chase Jakarski, infielder, and you exchange an outfielder. So really, you're giving up a solid prospect and a pitcher for Jesus Sanchez, a good, solid MLB outfielder, lefty bat. The Astros really needed one. Good power with Sanchez, and hit right hand really well. Average numbers for MLB, but he's an MLB level player. 260 average, 739 OPS. Didn't really give up a lot. Didn't give up any major prospects, any players on the big league team. A lot of money. You didn't give up a lot of that. All you gave up was really 5 prospects, for basically. Then the other deal, of course, was Ramon Urias. He gives the Astros more flexibility in the infield in his 6th season, played for Baltimore. Get him here to Houston again, a solid MLB player as a utility man alongside Mauricio Dubon. Gives them better depth as well. Jesus Sanchez is pretty young as well, 27 years old, so we'll see what he can do in Houston. But overall, an A for the Astros at the deadline. They made the moves that they needed to on offense, and they'll be getting pitching players back after injury, which is why they didn't go crazy after Dylan Cease and give up a lot. So I think it was overall a great deadline, and the Astros will be looking to maintain the first place and jump into the top 2 in the AL. So should be a lot of fun wrapping up the last few months of baseball in the regular season. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the like, subscribe, comment. What do you think of the Correa trade? And I will see you in the next one.